One sentence saved a king's life and almost cost someone else everything. One day, a king decided to walk among his people, without guards, without an entourage. He wandered through the old marketplace, surrounded by the voices of merchants, the scent of wood and spices, and the endless rhythm of bargaining. Suddenly, his attention was drawn to a small, neglected shop. It was almost empty. Dust covered the shelves. Nothing there seemed worth buying. An elderly man sat quietly inside, resting on a worn wooden stool. His clothes were simple, his shop was poor, yet his presence carried an unusual calm. In the corner of the shop stood two old plaques, half hidden beneath layers of dust, as if time itself had forgotten them. The king stepped closer and greeted the old man. The man returned the greeting gently, his voice steady, his eyes calm, his confidence strangely out of place in such poverty. The king asked, puzzled, "I came to the market to buy something. What do you sell?" The old man replied softly, "I sell something that cannot be measured in money." The king laughed mockingly. "Are you joking with me?" The old man did not smile. "I am completely serious. My goods are priceless. Everything else in this market has a price. No matter how high, it is still limited." The king glanced around the shop again. "But I don't see anything for sale." The old man said calmly, "I sell wisdom. Many have benefited from it. All I have left now are these two plaques." The king raised an eyebrow. "And do you profit from such a trade?" The old man nodded slowly. "I profit greatly, for wisdom is very precious." Curious, the king approached one of the plaques and brushed away the dust. Written on it were 4 simple words: "Think before you act." The king stared at the sentence for a long moment. Then he asked, "How much for this?" The old man replied calmly, 10,000 dinars. The king burst into laughter. 10,000? You must be mad." The old man said calmly, "The price is final." The king began to bargain. 1,000, 2,000, 3. He climbed higher and higher until he reached 9,000 dinars. The old man never moved, never argued, never spoke again. Amused, the king turned to leave, certain the old man would call him back. But the man simply returned to his seat, indifferent. As the king continued through the market, something happened. He was about to do something unworthy of his honor. And suddenly, the words echoed in his mind. "Think before you act." He stopped, reconsidered, and walked away, feeling an unexpected sense of relief. That was when he realized he had already benefited from the wisdom without buying it. The king rushed back to the shop and said, "I will buy the plaque at the price you asked." The old man stood, cleaned the dust from the plaque, handed it to him, and accepted the money. As the king turned to leave, the old man added one final condition. He said calmly, "If you truly wish to benefit from this wisdom, write it on the door of your home. Place it where your eyes pass every day, even in the places you walk through most." The king paused, then agreed. Back at the palace, he ordered the words written everywhere, on doors, on walls, along corridors, throughout the rooms of the palace. Days passed. Then one night, the commander of the army plotted to kill the king and seize the throne. He bribed the king's personal barber with promises of wealth, and the barber agreed. In the final moments, the barber entered the palace, trembling. Above the main gate, he saw the words, "Think before you act." He froze. The phrase followed him through the corridors, on the walls, on the floors, in every room he passed. When he entered the king's chamber, he found the sentence written all around the room, on the walls, on the doors, everywhere he looked. It felt as if the wisdom itself was watching him. His hand began to shake. Sweat ran down his face. The king noticed the barber's fear. Suddenly, the barber collapsed, crying, confessing the entire plot. The king ordered the arrest of the commander and his accomplices. The barber was forgiven. Later, the king stood before the plaque, brushing away the dust, smiling quietly. He said to himself, "I must reward that old man and buy another piece of wisdom." But when he returned to the market, the shop was gone. He asked the people about the old man. They replied, "He has passed away." The king stood in silence. The man was gone, but the wisdom remained. And sometimes, one sentence is enough to change a life or save one.